As the budget hole for state government dominates the attention of state lawmakers and thousands of Oklahomans, the state's overall economy has shrunk. Economists say Oklahoma is now in a recession, while politicians would rather use any other word than that to describe the Oklahoma economy.
An economic recession is defined as a significant decline in activity across the economy, visible in industrial production, employment, and real income, marked by 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth. The Oklahoma Employment Securities Commission produces a monthly report on Oklahoma's economic indicators. Included in the March report is a graph which clearly shows the up and down nature of Oklahoma's economy. This is Oklahoma's gross domestic product during the Great Recession, and this shows what happened over the last 2 quarters of 2015, 2 months of decline in Oklahoma's gross domestic product. Lynn Gray is chief economist at the Oklahoma Employment Security Commission.
We have been in a mild recession, and some people in some industries would say, would take serious issue with the word mild.
That would be the thousands of people laid off in the energy industry, figures that are now showing up in the state's unemployment rate.
We had our high employment, our cyclically high employment in oil and gas back in November of 2014. Since that time, we've lost a full 25%, nearly 26% of the jobs in that industry just in Oklahoma.
State Treasurer Ken Miller balks at talk of a recession.
Clearly we're struggling, but I am not going to define it as a recession. I'm going to let NBER do that based on the official definition. Certainly we're in a contraction due to our anchor industry being down.
But Lynn Gray says the state's unemployment rate, which is at 4.4%, is masked in part because other sectors of the economy are adding jobs.
But we're adding jobs in the restaurant industry, in accommodation and food services is the official title there. In the last 12 months, we've added about 8,200 jobs in that sector.
And that explains the other troubling economic trends.
Average weekly earnings are down around 2% year over year. When you look at oil and gas wages for non-supervisory employees, it's down around 19%.
Mickey Hepner is the dean of the College of Business at the University of Central Oklahoma. His economic forecast warned back in October that the state's economy was in a recession.
I'm not the official arbiter of state recessions here, but I think it was last October I publicly stated that if I were that person, I would have been calling it back then.
Crude oil prices have been trending upward in recent days, even breaking through the $45 a barrel mark, which is increasing pump prices.
We're eliminating companies, we're eliminating jobs, we're eliminating wells, and that's what's been able to lift prices up. And so we're not going to see the same effect as we would see if we just had some kind of worldwide event boost prices up. The prices are going up because production here in the United States is going down.
And that is not good news for Oklahoma's economy or state government's budget.
That means the corporate income tax collections are still going to be weak, employment is still going to be weak going forward, and so we're not going to have really a strong recovery for a while still, as long as we hold in this $40 to $50 range for energy prices.
Economist Lynn Gray expects unemployment rates to continue going up, with job losses next in state and local government.
We have some state agencies that are, that have put in place some terminations, some voluntary buyouts. In fact, I was talking to my staff this morning. We expect to see some of those show up in the April data.
And the next shoe to drop in the state's unemployment rate will be the layoffs in education. That's unless lawmakers can avoid the kind of budget cuts that public schools are planning for. For state government, Dean Hepner says the $1.3 billion budget hole for fiscal year 2017 is actually larger than that.
I think still going into fiscal year 17 that we're going to have another revenue failure in the middle of fiscal year 17. And so the estimates for fiscal year 17 revenues that the legislature is working off of right now, I think, are still too optimistic.
The economists expect another 12 months of government budget cutting and increasing job losses before energy prices get to a point that the industry can turn a profit. But whenever the state's economy begins to rebound, lawmakers will face the age-old political choice: cut taxes or invest.